Good morning, class 6. In the previous class, we have talked about the Kalpattu village that is close to the sea coast in Tamil Nadu. And there, people are doing different type of work for their livelihood. That is for their survival, for taking care of their families. The work which they do are very much similar to work which people do in villages. Like for example, making baskets, utensils, pots, bricks, etc. There we have talked about that men and women, both of them work together to take care of the family. Here we have discussed about Thalasia. So she was telling us that she worked round the clock as such. In the morning, she cooked food for her family. Thereafter, she went to the fields and she was the one who is making doing working round the clock, whereas her husband was working only in the field. But then, in spite of working so much, she was getting only rupees 40 per day. Her owner or the employer Ramalingam paid her only rupees 40 per day, which is where she has compared that amount, and she was telling us that it is very less to the amount which she was getting when she was working in her own, hometown, or where her mothers or parents live. And her husband Raman, who is also a laborer, but comparatively he was getting better payment than her. Then she was also telling us that at times they had to take loan or help from Ramalingam, and therefore they cannot think of any other work. Whereas there are one more advantage which he shared with us was that just because she is working there with Ramalingam, he is the one who is also not hiring any other laborer from other different from different villages if they agreed to take less salary, right? So this much we have done in the previous class. Today we will continue with Sikar. So not being able to earn money throughout the year. So she also let's do this last paragraph and then we'll move on. As you saw in Tholasi's story, poor families in rural areas often spend a lot of time every day collecting firewood, getting water, and grazing their cattle. You can pronounce his name as Tulasi also, because in South India, like for example, if my name is Shruti, that is I spell it as Shruti, but if you ask any South Indian, they will write it as Shruti, that is Shruthi, sorry. So maybe that is the difference here, that here they call this name as Tulasi, but then pronunciation might be Tulsi, right? So even though they do not earn any money from these activities, they have to do them for the household. The family needs to spend time doing this as they are not able to survive on the little money they earn. So that means they are to do some other work as well for their survival, because with the meager amount which she was getting while working in the field was not sufficient. Nearly two-fifths of the rural families are agricultural laborers in our country. There are some who have some small plots of land, while others, like Tulasi, are landless. So that means in the rural families, there are two-fifths families who are working as laborers. So but then there are some families who have small plots. Not being able to earn money throughout the year forces people in many rural areas to travel long distances in search of work. This travel or migration takes place during particular season. Obviously, the season when there is no work in the agricultural ground, then they move to other places, maybe for looking for the job. Sikar, we have to carry this paddy to our house. My family has just finished harvesting our field. We don't own much land, only 2 acres. We manage to do all the work on our own. At times, especially during the harvest, I take the help of other small farmers and in turn help them harvest their field. So it is like give and take. They help in them in harvesting, and vice versa, people help them in the harvest in their field. The trader gave me seeds and fertilizers as a loan. To pay back this loan, I have to sell my paddy to him at a somewhat lower price than what I would get in the market. He has sent his agent to remind farmers who have taken loan that they will sell the paddy only to him. So you can see the similarity. This is what Sapna has also done. She had to sell her cotton. Same ways here, they also have taken loan from the lender, and so they have to sell off their paddy to him. I will probably get 60 bags of paddy from my field. Some of this I will sell to settle the loan. The rest will be used in my home. But whatever I have will last only 8 months. So I need to earn some money. I work in Ramalingam's rice mill. Here I help him collect paddy from other farmers in the neighboring villages. We also have a hybrid cow whose milk we sell in the local milk cooperative. This way we get a little extra money for our everyday needs. So uh, he is telling us that he will probably get 60 bags of paddy from his field, and that like a little bit he had to sell off to settle the loan. The rest will be used by the family members in his house, but then that much will last only 8 months. So obviously they will need some more money for the whole year. So he has to work in Ramalingam's field in the Ramalingam's rice mill, where what he does is he helps him collecting paddy from other farmers who are living in the nearby villages, in the neighboring villages, right? Then he is telling us that he also has a hybrid cow, and he sells off the milk of the cow in the cooperative to earn some money, extra money. On being in debt, as you have read above, very often farmers like Sikar need to borrow money to purchase basic things like seeds, fertilizers, and pesticides. Often they borrow this money from money lenders. If the seeds are not of good quality or pests attack their crop, there can be a major crop failure. So, uh, here we have talked about Sikar, and he had to borrow money, as he has already told us, that because the paddy which he has will not help him survive or his family to survive throughout the year. So here they are giving us some examples, like if the pest attack, then it would be difficult to manage the whole family. So the crops can also be ruined if the monsoon does not bring enough rain. When this happens, farmers are unable unable to pay back their loans and for the family to survive. They may even have to borrow more money. Soon, the loan becomes so large that no matter what they earn, they are unable to repay. So, if the crops are ruined, if there is no monsoon, if there is a pest attack, so what they have to do, they have to borrow money from the money lenders, and sometimes the loan amount becomes so large. So it becomes too much that it is difficult for them to repay. This is when we can say they are caught in debt. DEBT, that is debt. In recent years, this has become a major cause of distress among farmers. In some areas, this has also resulted in many farmers committing suicide. So, obviously, you must have read it or heard in the news that in recent years, the number of suicides among farmers has increased because of this, because they are not able to pay off the loan and it becomes difficult to take care of the family, so they commit suicide. What work does Sikar's family do? Why do you think Sikar does not usually employ laborers for doing farming work? So obviously maybe their family can manage, and if they hire somebody, they will have to pay off uh, why does Sakar not go to the town market to get a better price? Because as he has already told us that he has taken loan from the money lender, and on the condition, on this condition, that he is going to sell his paddy to him, he has given the loan. Then Sakar's sister Meena had also taken a loan from the trader. She does not want to sell her paddy to him, but she will pay back her loan. Write an imaginary conversation between Meena and the trader's agent. Okay, that is, you can leave this. What are the similarities and difference between Sakar's and Tulasi's lives? Your answer should be based on the land that they have. They need to work on the land that belongs to others. So similarity, both of them are dependent on Ramalingam for financial help. Then she doesn't have a land, but Sekar has a land, but then it's not much, and then whatever is produced there, some of them he has to pay off to pay the land, to pay the debt which he has taken. So obviously there are a lot of similarities between both of them. Ramalingam and Karuthamma. In addition to land, Ramalingam's family owns a rice mill and a shop selling seeds, pesticides, etc. For the rice mill, they used some of their own money and also borrowed from the government bank. They buy paddy from within the village and from surrounding villages. The rice that is produced in the mill is sold to traders in nearby town. This gives them a substantial income. So, here they are talking about that Ramalingam's family, they own a rice mill that Sakar has just told us, and then he has a shop which sells seeds and pesticides. For the rice mill, they use some of their own money and also borrow from the government bank. They buy paddy from within the village and from surrounding villages. The rice that is produced in the mill is sold to traders in nearby town. This gives them a substantial income. So they take help from the government, and then like whatever is like the paddy purchase, the paddy which they get from the village, they sell it off to the nearby towns, and obviously they earn profits there. Read again Sakar and Tulasi's account. What do they say about Ramalingam? The large farmer? Together with what you have read, fill in the details. How much land does he have? What does Ramalingam do with the paddy grown on his land? And apart from farming, how else does he earn? So I feel these questions are answered. What does Ramalingam do with the paddy grown on his land? That is using it in the rice mill, then he is selling it off to the nearby towns. Then apart from farming, he has a rice mill, then he has a shop. From both these places he is earning. Then how much land does he have? This question you are going to answer yourself. That's all for today's class. Take care of yourselves, children. Thank you.